Welcome back to the Buff Show today, you guys. We have District 1 candidate Tia Shaw with us, and we are excited to have her here.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for hopping on, Tia.
Thank
with
you
us.
for inviting me to come down and giving me this opportunity.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit to start off, just kind of give us your background in the Valley and maybe a little bit about your family and home life.
Okay. Well, I'm mother of 4 children, grandmother of 5, and my 4 children were all raised in the Valley. We live on land that has been in the Shaw name for over 100 years. My husband is 5th generation in the Valley, and so we have deep roots here in the Valley. Our children all love the Valley, but don't live in the Valley. They have been pretty much priced out of the Valley. But we've loved living up there, and we've loved the lifestyle that it affords us, and have a great love for our Valley.
How long have you been there? Like your entire life?
We've lived there. So actually, I am an immigrant from Canada.
No way.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So I was raised in Canada. I got my citizenship in 2014, and we've lived in the Valley for 37 years.
Oh, wow.
So we've been there for a long time.
So what part makes you like, what's the word? Not native, but like...
Like being a Valley girl.
Yeah. Or like,
Yeah.
yeah. Is it 20 years, 30 years? Like it's funny because
I don't know.
we've only been there for 5 years.
Yeah.
You're definitely native.
I think as
you've-
the generations go, so like your kids would be generational,
Yeah.
and your husband obviously is. So yeah, and I've lived there my whole life, so
Yeah.
so I'm generational as well. But my
Yeah.
parents moved up after they had gotten married. So, but we also have a deep history just originally. So anyway,
Right.
That's cool though. Canada.
yeah,
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about your hobbies and interests?
Sure. I mean, we're a musical family,
Okay.
and my husband and I actually participate regularly in Mountain Arts and Music's open mic in the summers.
Oh, cool.
So we love going over there. Some of my other family members have come over and participated in the open mic. So we love music. We've been involved in music through, all our lives. But also we love hiking, biking, snowshoeing, kayaking, snowmobiling.
Yeah.
All of those things that we live right in the middle
Right.
of.
That seems to be what draws people to the Valley is like all those amenities. What kind of music do you guys like?
Well, it's varied. I mean, I play guitar, and so we
Oh,
play.
really?
Yeah. So we sing some more popular songs. We sing some of the oldies.
That's cool.
And then, of course, religious music. We sing
Yeah.
in church, and
That's awesome. I've always wanted to learn the guitar. I learned piano a little bit, but that's on my list is to learn guitar one of these days.
I'm not an officiate, like a great guitar player,
Yeah.
but I love to play it, and it's relaxing.
And you sing as well.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
guitar would fit along right with your cowboy lifestyle
I
you're
know,
building.
I'm trying
You got to
to-
get
Yeah.
that
out
done.
there by the campfire.
Better
you
put that
your
on that
guitar
vision
going.
board.
It is on my list to learn. So that's awesome. Can you tell us a little bit about your work and professional experience, if you have?
Yeah, well, so I am a retired school counselor. I worked at Syracuse Arts Academy as a school counselor and just retired actually a few months ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so-
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. So now I get to go do more kayaking
Yeah.
and biking.
Maybe.
Yeah. Sounds like you're.
Yeah, but that was a good career. It gave me the opportunity to serve kids, to work with them, to help them. And it gave me the opportunity to learn skills like collaboration and good listening skills, being reliable. Kids need to be able to depend on you and know that they can. So,
How many years did you do that? Were you a counselor?
So I raised my children, and then went back to school
Oh, wow.
and got my degree in my 50s. So,
Wow.
so I had my career at Syracuse Arts Academy for 16 years.
Wow. That's awesome. And you're feeling like you're not ready to quite retire, so that made you decide to run for city council? Or what made you decide to run?
What made me decide to run was that there's a little excitement in thinking that there's a new city being set up.
Yeah.
And just having that opportunity to be a part of it. And then also because I was working full time and I had like a 2 to 3 hour commute every day going back and forth and, 8+ hours working, I didn't have much time to be involved in the community. And so I just felt like I wanted to be involved in the community, and this was a good way to do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. We've thought about how we can get involved, which is why we brought this up. So, yeah, that's great. Everybody has an opportunity to do their part. So, good on you.
So you kind of talked about what excites you the most about our future city. What are some of your concerns with our new city? Anything that you want to speak of in particular?
Well, I think one of my concerns is how do we get it right?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure you've read in the newspaper that we're all working together. There's so much to do to set up a city that I had no idea about, and probably a lot of people don't know about what it's going to take to set up a city. And I'm just glad that we all went, okay, we're going to dive into this now, regardless of what the outcome is. We're all going to dive into this and work on this together so that we can make a smooth transition for people.
It's like whether you wanted it or not, it's here. So like the bed's made. So it's like it's happening.
And it never hurts to be too prepared.
Is there what excites you the most about it though?
What excites me, and really one of the things that got me interested was the fact that we had a say in what we wanted. I feel like we felt unheard in the valley.
Yeah.
And that what we wanted wasn't being listened to. And I'm just excited that now there's people from the valley who are going to have that interest in keeping the valley what the people who live there want it to be.
Yeah. So just one question I have, like, what made you be like, I'm going to run for city council? Like, you just, out of nowhere, you're like, this sounds fun and exciting. It seemed like, just because there's so much time involved, and if you were retired, it seems like, I don't know, that's a lot. That's a big sacrifice for everybody that's running, and I want to make that known. Like, you guys are dedicating a lot of time and effort and energy to this, which is amazing. And it's a huge undertaking, bigger than like just like a normal like
Stepping into office.
Yeah, stepping into office.
Well, because you have something already set to step
Right.
into. We don't have anything to step into. We have to create
and
it.
it's a mess. Like it's pretty messy what you're stepping into. So was there like a time or pivotal moment where you're like, I think I'm going to do this? Or like you just kind of felt the need sounds like you had a lot of time commuting, so you were like able to research and listen and kind of get more involved that way. But was there like a one time that you're like, I think I'm gonna like throw my hat in the ring?
Well, my husband, who is, raised in the valley, encouraged me to do this. And we went back and forth for a little while. I'm like, you're the one
Yeah.
who was raised here. You're the Shaw,
Yeah. Yeah. So how did he win that battle? Maybe we need to get him on the podcast.
Yeah, he would love that.
Probably should get the spouses in here. Like, how we doing?
Well, if you were to bring Carly in here, like, because she basically runs Mountain Buff, so I'm sure there's a lot of involvement on his end. But yeah,
Yeah. He just encouraged me to, and that got me thinking. And I was like, well, I'm retired. I will have the time to dedicate
yeah,
here, and I was willing to do that. At this point in my life, maybe I'm not ready to give up, my time in serving others,
Yeah.
in like at school where I was
yeah,
always busy and doing
Yeah.
things. And it's just from one to the next. So,
For sure.
so maybe I'm just not ready to give up on that yet.
Yeah, to hang up the hat. It seems like it's a good transition because it's like counseling to setting up a city and everything like that. There's a lot of parallels there for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, thinking about your first 100 days, if you were elected, how would, or what does that look like for you? What do you think is the first thing that you would
Wow.
do?
So the first 100 days, I'm hoping people will not feel a pain from transitioning from one to our city, from the county to our city.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I'm hoping that everything will be in place that we need: the insurance, the partnerships, the services, and that in those first 100 days we're just getting that all going, and we've got everything ready to go, and that in those first 100 days people will say, "Oh, we never noticed a change."
It's
Yeah.
just nothing. Yeah.
Yeah.
that is the goal.
Yeah, for sure.
It like normalcy for sure. And
Yeah.
it's interesting because for you guys, like the candidates that are running, normalcy is a huge undertaking to try and make it be normal. And for all the other citizens that live there, that's kind of the expectation, right?
Right.
So that's a hard,
Right.
that's a hard job.
They want their snow plowed,
yeah.
the same as it's been plowed.
Mm-hmm.
They want the same services
Yeah.
And
So-
taxes not to go up.
and taxes not to go up.
We'll get it.
Yes.
I mean, we can jump to that too if you
no,
want. Like,
no, we can. You can carry on with. Sorry.
no, that's perfect. Why don't we? Like, that's a big question that a lot of people in the valley do have. Like, what's going to happen? Where do our property taxes go? Are they going to go up? Are they going to go down? Are they going to stay the same? I know that's hard to predict because there's
Yeah.
certain things, but and it's great that you and the other candidates are meeting now so that you can get that stuff in place and in order so that transition is smooth. But based on what you've learned during those meetings, what's your anticipation?
Well, so we're learning that we need to get real numbers, that we've got to get actual numbers that we're working from. And so my anticipation is still that we can work with what we're going to get from our taxes.
Mm-hmm.
It's still that. My worry is that from the time that we become a city to when we get those taxes,
Yeah.
right? When we have access to them, we'll need to worry about gap funding. getting something in place so that we can still run.
So we can pay the vendors that
So
are
that we
going to
can
be
s-
plowing and
Yeah, so that we can get all that. So,
Yeah, that's kind of hard to start something without the money you need to start it.
right. And we've got great people who are, the transition team. I'm actually as candidates, we've divided amongst the things that need to be done.
Yeah.
So I'm serving with the team that's doing financial and admin, and I'm serving with the planning and land use team.
Yeah.
And we're just getting together and trying to divide the things that need to be done up amongst us so that we can get in and get started.
Yeah. I think that's so cool how you guys, there's 12 of you, and you're all kind of running against each other, not sure who's going to actually win, but all of you are putting in the time now to like try and ensure whoever wins, it's like we have to work together to get it so we're ready, whoever is
Right.
is in there, which
I
is
think-
cool.
I think that says a lot about the people who are running, because our focus is not to fight each other, but
Yeah.
to work with each other
Yeah.
to make sure that our citizens don't feel any pain
Yeah.
from this.
Yeah, which is vital. Because if you guys were just debating and just like making it all about you guys right now, then nothing would really be getting done, and then it would be likely more messy
Yeah.
when the keys are transferred.
Yeah.
What's that been like working alongside of everybody right now?
It's been good.
Has it?
Yeah, we are really, what we're trying to do right now is figure out what our vision is. What's our shared vision?
Mm-hmm.
And so we've been doing some training on coming up with a shared vision
Yeah.
for everyone. And, at the end, it will be the same shared vision, whether it's 12 people who have shared it or 6 people who go on and share
Yeah.
it. You really can't, you can't move forward without knowing what your vision is
Yeah.
and what you want to accomplish. And so we're doing that right now, doing the work of that.
That's good to have like that. Like, this is the goal. Now, how do we get from point
How
A
do we
to
get there,
Yeah.
and what do we need to do to get there? And coming up with some of the big questions. One of the big questions: how do we pay for this?
Yeah. 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 How do we run it and everything like that? So is that vision kind of like the general plan that we have in place?
So it will be based on the general plan. I
Okay.
think for me, we're all working together, but we're working independently.
Yeah.
So we're coming up with a press release,
Mm-hmm.
and then we'll put those all together and see what we can come from that with a press release that will go out for all of us. Which
Okay.
means that the 6 that go forward will have already
Have-
agreed to that. And
Yeah.
so, the 12 that don't, the 6 that don't,
They had their
had input
though.
in it.
Yeah. Wow, that's crazy. So all of you are kind of coming up, like, kind of basing your thoughts off of the general plan,
Yeah.
and then if there's changes or tweaks, kind of like now's the time to make those as needed, right?
Yeah, well, so as far as the general plan, I think that's our guiding document.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of time and money put into the general plan. And
Yeah.
there's been, over the years, different iterations. And I have just learned that general plans should be revised and looked at every 6 to 8 years. So our last general plan was 2016, and so we're due
Yeah.
to look at that.
Yeah.
And, there's things in the general plan that don't apply anymore. Like, for example, Powder Mountain and the Ogden Canyon aren't part of our incorporation.
Right,
And
yeah.
they're in there. And
Yeah.
there's just, the numbers that might need to be adjusted in there. But the general plan, I think, is a guiding document, and the visions that for what they have in there are things that I agree with. And everything that I've read through and that I think is important wants to preserve the charm of the valley, the natural beauty of the valley.
Okay, so in conjunction with the general plan, what are your feelings and your thoughts on development in the valley? That's kind of a hot button item that people are concerned about. So what's your perspective of that?
Well, first of all, I'm not sure the general plan was followed very well with the development that is going on in the valley, or that will be going on in the valley. That probably a lot of that spurred us to vote for incorporation. But I think, I'm not naive to think that my dream of keeping the valley as the valley is realistic. I'm not naive. There has to be growth. But I feel like it hasn't been responsible, and that we need to be really careful and follow that general plan. And I don't feel that it has been followed in reading through it. And so I feel like there will be development in the valley as long as it's responsible and mindful of those who are there already, and what the valley is, that it's more of an agricultural area. That open space, we all love that. So, development needs to be responsible.
And properly managed.
And like, I'm curious as to how realtors look at development.
Yeah, I mean, I think from our perspective, we want to make sure that the clients we're selling to have the resources that they need in order to do that. It's hard to sell a piece of land that doesn't have infrastructure and amenities to, to build those homes. And what's your take on that, Paden?
I'm pro property rights. Like, if you have a piece of property, you should be able to do with it as you wish, as long as it coincides with the general plan that's been proposed for the area. So, and as long as people know that going into a purchase or a property, and they're like, okay, I have land in this area, this is what's allowed there, and they're following that plan, I think it's good. I think it can be done well and thoughtfully to where it preserves that area. But as long as everybody's still having kids and population growth is growing, I think you're right. We'd be naive to think that the door shuts behind us and nobody else can come in. And we can't limit who comes in, right? You can't say, oh, my kids can move here, but yours can't. Or that's not what our country was based off of. So I think it's a balance between those two. And the biggest thing that I see is just having it be clear and thought out and be like, okay, here's the rules. Now go play by the rules, type deal. So
I love that, clear and thought out.
Yeah.
Because, like, as I read through the general plan, it says that commercial areas should be, like there should be just a designated commercial area or resorts, and keep those kind of
in
central.
certain areas. Yeah. It's hard. I can see how it's hard, like my dad was like on city council. He's done a few like smaller developments, and I've been in construction and real estate my whole life. And I think it's really hard for like a city to plan out everything before. It's like with short-term rentals. Like, we didn't know that was going to be an issue 10 years ago, right? Because they didn't really exist. Like, Airbnb wasn't, like, I think it started as a platform. It was like 2012-ish or 10, somewhere in there. Because that was like the first time I remember recalling it. So maybe 15 years ago. But like, just to see that trend and how it's unfolded, like, it's completely changed areas, right? Where it's
Right.
like, whoa, like in the hotel industry. So like, I think things will always be changing. So it's hard to like foresee. I grew up in Morgan, and they have Wasatch Peaks going in like right where we used to live. And like that was a ground I snowmobiled and hunted on.
Right.
But it came up for sale. They came up with like a vision for it. I didn't have the $30 million that it took to buy that land, and somebody else did. And there's a bunch of ways that you can look at it, but I think there's pros and cons to it on both sides, and probably fairness is probably somewhere in the middle, right? There's people in Morgan that hate it, but I think it's a huge advantage for the county with the tax revenue that's bringing in.
Right.
So it's
a
hard.
balancing. It's a balance.
It's so hard. Yeah. It's a balance between property rights and then just like being, I think, like you said, responsible for what's
And
going in.
being able to get what you need to run a city. But I think too that the what you said about the what I don't want to see is something like when you drive over into Mountain Green and see what's happening there. You know.
So
I mean,
it's interesting because Mountain Green and Morgan, they have their general plan, and it is all focused in Mountain Green. So I think as long as you are a resident there, I think the problem is a lot of people don't. I'll bet most people in the valley haven't looked at the general plan.
Oh,
ever.
I'm sure.
And so
Yeah.
they probably I know they get frustrated when they buy a property and then something happens behind it because they didn't realize the zoning
Right.
behind it or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's not anybody else's fault if that plan was created back in
Right.
16, right? As long as it's
Yeah.
being followed. So, and the people in Mountain Green, if you bought around the Rome townhomes, like kind of where that was like a commercial corridor area, then, like there's nothing you can really do, right?
It's true.
If you don't want that, then, and I think as agents, we should probably do a better job of being like, oh, you should review,
Yeah. And
maybe review the general plan before you buy somewhere.
educating our clients.
And it's like in Eden, like I think growth, obviously will happen. There's a lot of projects coming and things like that. And they do kind of have it targeted in an area. I think it's safe to say if you bought up in like North Fork Park or Durfee Creek, you won't have, a hotel or
Any commercial.
Up in my district.
Yeah.
yeah,
We're not going to have a lot of commercial.
you won't have any commercial going in up there. But if you buy right around Valley Market,
Yep.
there's a fair amount, or like
Yeah.
Carlos and Harley's, there's a lot of commercial stuff. And
Yeah.
if you look on the map, they're kind of spread out, like some of the commercial zonings.
Zones, Yep.
And so
They are.
I think
Yeah.
I think as it grows, you have a lot of commercials, especially around Carlos and Harley's, that they're spread out, and there's a lot of like still, I think it's AV3 or FE3 kind of pieced in the middle. And I don't know if that will change down the road, but
Right.
as things grow, it seems like if there is patches of commercial kind of fills in between.
Yes. So I'm
And that's
not
probably
sure
what
that's
makes it hard.
a great model.
Right. Yeah.
But then on the other hand, you've already got people living.
I know.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And
You're
that
infringing, encroaching on them.
and then there's people that like, and this is where, like, if we're talking about fair, what if somebody has owned a house there for like since the 70s or 80s, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now, like more commercial starts popping up, right? Like that is, I see both sides why people are frustrated. And you have the road going up from the North Ogden Divide that's connecting up to the bridges. Like that's not ideal for all the homes. Like our first house in the valley, we were really close to that. And now that's going to be a busier street, right? Like that's
Right.
not ideal.
No.
But that comes with growth, and it's hard.
It does come with growth.
I don't know if there's there isn't an easy answer,
Well,
and that's why I'm not
yeah.
envious of you guys in your position.
Yeah, I mean, and then there's also the fact of, like, I said, people are being priced out of the valley.
Yeah.
You know, it's becoming a place where wealthy can live.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford my home.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford to buy it at what it's
Valued at now.
valued
Yeah.
at now, and
Yeah,
the
so-
taxes I pay on it. You know.
So what do you do there? Yeah, because you have a lot of families. I think families is like younger families is one that I think every community kind of wants younger families, and then also protecting
Right.
the retired individuals that maybe are on like a fixed income, but then property taxes keep going up. So like, what do you do in those situations?
Right.
Do you,
Exactly.
Do you have any ideas or thoughts on that?
Lower taxes.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Except now we have a city that we have to
except
fund.
we have a city we've got to fund.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, we're working with figures we don't know
Yeah.
yet.
Yeah.
You know, we're working with projections
Yeah.
that may not be completely accurate.
Yeah.
And we're still trying to get the accurate figures.
So I think my fear with that is, at least in my case, anytime I'm like dealing with numbers, I think as humans, we always are optimistic in like how we run things. Even if we have like a cushion, it's like clients that build. Oh, you're going to be $1 million or whatever it is. And we have a 10% cushion in there. And then they end up and they're like, oh, we were 1.1 or whatever. And it maybe 10% of the time it's like, oh, we came in under budget, you know?
And the
But
other
that's-
90.
Yeah, that's my concern with the Valley. But I do think it's cool as we interview all the candidates and stuff. There's some very capable, like everybody's goal and vision is the same. And I think it's cool to see, even though everybody's kind of running against each other and stuff like that, it's cool to see how united in, I think, the overall vision is and how similar like the paths are, right?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
we're all going in the same general direction. We're just saying it in different ways.
Yep.
We are, yeah.
At least I don't think there's anybody that's rowing north and then the other ones are rowing south. It seems like we all have a similar love for the Valley and kind of overall interest for its well-being. And it's just like, okay, how do we figure out an easy, good way to get there?
Yeah. Yeah. How do we make it a premier mountain community?
Yeah, yeah.
That, you know,
That you'd be proud to come and visit if you weren't a member,
Yeah.
you know, or if you didn't live there, that you would be, or, you know, that you'd be proud to say you're from there, you know?
right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And also that people will say it was done right.
Yeah.
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 You know, we want it done right.
And that's definitely easier said than done.
Easier said than done.
Yes, as with all things.
How about short-term rentals? What are your thoughts on those? And do you have any like ideas or suggestions? Because I know that's kind of a hot topic in the Valley right now.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned property rights,
Yeah.
right? And I too agree that people should have the right to sell their property. And you know, I heard I have a friend who's on a city council in Harriman, and he said, you know, somebody comes with a bag of money to a farmer, you know, you can't blame them
Mm-hmm. For sure.
for taking that retirement, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's their right to do so.
It's their right to do so.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that we need to be careful about maybe our zoning and where we have that.
Yeah.
But I also, you know, I've used short-term rentals, and there's the ADUs that I became aware of. I didn't know
Yeah.
existed, but
Yeah.
you know, I just wonder if people, if they were managed locally, like if you have an ADU, do you live right next to it so that you can manage it?
Yeah.
If you have an STR, how close are you so that you can manage it?
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're a member of the community, you care more about
Yeah.
about what's going on with it.
Yeah.
You know.
Versus an investor just trying to
Just
have a
trying to-
vacation house
Yeah.
and then investment.
Making some money on it. Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, I don't know how realistic that is, but I would think, I would think it would be better to have people who live locally
Yeah.
run those.
It's been interesting though too. I just want to speak for some of the out-of-staters and like investors, because I have a number of clients that have moved from all over into the valley, and it's been like it's cool to see how fast they fall in love with the valley, with how it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty common that they come here and they're like, "Oh man, this place is so cool," and they feel like invested in the community, and then they are like somebody that's been there for 20 years, like, I don't want it to change, you know?
Mhm.
So it's interesting. I think even though it seems that a lot of people investing from other areas might not have some of the same ties to the valley, I think it's been interesting to see how quickly I think that love and bond is formed with the valley, where they're like, oh man, this place is really cool. And they are tied there. They're invested, and maybe I can't say more invested, but maybe financially, because they're paying these crazy prices to get in
Right.
now versus other people that have been there for a long time that have kind of, got in at a better time financially. But that's another topic.
That
So,
is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there will be quite a bit of discussion on the short-term rental side. I think it is a tool that could be used to help younger families, whether it's like have some alternative income to maybe get into the valley by having a short-term rental on
Right.
property or on site. We
Well,
have the
and
Olympics coming.
older,
Yeah, and older.
like retirees
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Who are on a fixed income, who maybe could use some extra money
Yeah.
with an ADU or.
But you want to be careful with it too, because you have people in all these areas where they haven't been allowed, and if we start opening it up, and then it gets noisy, and
Yeah.
like they don't want to be next to a party house either.
Right.
So.
Well, and that's where I just wonder if people were local, they could manage that a little better.
Yeah.
Police it a little bit.
I think there are ways. I think like if you were to look in Moab or St. George or some of these other areas that have a lot of nightly rentals, I think I'm sure we could find somebody that's done it really well and has been able to kind of have it help the community versus be a hindrance. So
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you were to ask me, I'd be like, oh, I don't think I want an STR right
Yeah.
by me right now.
right. Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
Just because, well, and there's another part to that too, because if you've got a community that has a lot of short-term rentals in it, how do you know your neighbors?
Yeah.
How do you get
Yeah.
to be, how do you feel that connectedness in your neighborhood?
Yeah, it'd be hard. I think it'd have to be like application based, limited. I don't know. I don't know the answer to it.
Yeah.
We'll let you guys figure that out.
You guys figure that out, all right?
We got this.
Yes. You know what? That's the right attitude. What is one way that residents can get involved? Like, you guys are doing a lot of that work. The transition team has handed things off to the U Final 12. And, what's a way for all of us to be involved? There's people who may not have the time that is needed for being elected into those positions.
Yeah.
But what would you say is something we could do?
Well, first off, I was surprised at all the people that wanted to be involved in those transition teams. There's a lot of people that got involved there. But I would say just, we're one of our goals is to be transparent and have open communication and let people know what's going on. And I've been guilty of it myself, not attending any meetings to let the public know what's happening, and just attend, go and be a part of that and become educated. I think that's one way.
Do you think there's anything you'd recommend they do within like the next 60 days where it's like because I heard it one way and it was kind of a cool way to put it. Like the residents are the employer and the candidates are the employees. Like, so you got to make sure who you elect and gets into office, like those are the ones that are representing you really. And with what everything happens moving forward. So I guess, do you have any advice like within the, specifically for like the next 60 days on things that they could do or how to be more involved and informed?
Contact your candidates.
Yeah. Yeah.
Contact your candidates. You know, we are working on a lot of things, and at this moment, I can't think of anything. I mean, there's people we have to contact and contracts we have to set up and things like that that only we can do. But, you know.
Yeah, you guys have your hands full with, because not only are you trying to run for office and do your own campaigning, but you're also, there's a ton of work to cram in the next.
In the meantime,
you know, until, what is it, January 6th or something?
January 1,
Yeah. So there's a lot to be done. So.
Yeah.
Let's say you had the only billboard in the valley, not saying we want one, but is there anything specifically that you would put on it?
Short one, right?
Yeah. Do you have any?
What would I put on a billboard? Welcome to Ogden Valley, a premier mountain community, home of Eden, Liberty, and unincorporated Huntsville.
I like that. It is a cool mountain community. Having traveled and been different places, I'm always excited to come home, which I think says a lot about where you live.
Yeah.
And
I never tire of driving over the divide, which is the road I use the most because I live over there.
yeah.
And coming down and looking over at the valley.
Yeah.
And just that scene before me. I just never tire of those fields and just especially in the spring when it turns green, and you know, it's just beautiful. Or even when there's snow, I never tire of that scene before me. I'm just, you know, what a great place to be. And I think people come over and they look at the valley and they're like, what a great place to be.
It's pretty unique having, I think it's easy to take for granted. I for sure have fallen in that boat, but as I meet with clients that have been like, they travel way more than I ever have, and they come here to call home, like that's pretty cool because they've been, like I have a few clients that have traveled a lot, and they're picking this, their like kind of final retirement home, you know? And I think that speaks a lot to what we have here. And it's like, you got 3 ski resorts, all the trails, the reservoir, and a lot of it's public and open ground where it's like, what trail do I want to go right on today? And you're like, well, there's 100 of them. I'm not sure, you know, like.
I just put on my snowshoes and walk out my door. I don't have to go find a trail.
Yeah.
I just go.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know?
Okay, so let's see. Sorry, jumped to the wrong spot.
You're good.
Okay. So what makes you the right person for the job? You've shared why you ran. What makes you feel like people should vote for you? What makes you stand out?
I think that my experience in my career as a school counselor has given me some skills that I think would be pretty valuable in serving. And I love that word serving because I feel like we candidates are going to be serving our community.
I agree.
We are the employees
Yeah.
of the residents of the valley. But as a school counselor, I had to be able to collaborate with all the stakeholders, the parents, the students, the staff, the teachers. I had to be able to collaborate with them and work with them and come up with what works best for everyone.
Yeah.
I had to be able to listen. People need to know that they're being heard. I think that was one of our problems. We didn't feel like we were being heard in the Valley, and I want people to know that they have a voice and they're being heard and listened to. And then I also I had mentioned, you have to be reliable. I think the best person to serve is the one who shows up and is consistently showing up and is going to be there, And that's what I felt like students could rely on me for, was that I would show up and be there.
That's interesting. I was talking to a friend the other day, and he was reading a autobiography of Charlie Munger, which was like Warren Buffett's partner. And he had a question in there, like, what's the number one thing that has attributed to your success or something like that. I haven't read the book, but he said it was being reliable, which I was like, out of all the things you could have said, it was reliable. But I think that is true. Like if you can't show up and like put your hat on and get to work and stuff, then like you don't have a lot going for you. And so I like that answer. That's really cool.
You got to be able to dig in, not just talk.
Right. Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. Somebody that you can rely on. That's awesome. Rely on. Is there anything that we didn't ask you that you'd like to share or talk about with our listeners?
I mean, you've asked a lot of questions.
Yeah, we have. we have asked a lot.
I thought I had a chance to think about this, and I thought you were pretty thorough here.
That's good. Well, I'm glad we got everything covered. Where can people go to learn more about you and connect with you?
So my website is tiashawdistrict1.org. And then I have a Gmail, which is tia4district1. And that's, don't put number in there.
Yeah. We'll link everything in the notes too, so you guys have it.
Yeah.
What do you guys put on your websites?
I've put on what my thoughts are for the Valley, and I've put a countdown on there.
Oh, really? That's cool.
How many days are left? And I, of course, wanted to thank the residents of District 1 for trusting me and voting for me. And I have to put more stuff on there, maybe this.
Yeah.
So.
How did you feel after the first election was over? What were your initial thoughts? You're like,
I was actually a little bit surprised.
Yeah.
I went into this thinking, okay, I'm just going to do it, and whatever comes. And then I made it through the primary, and I was like, okay, here we go.
Here we go.
Time to pull up the bootstraps.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I can imagine that's probably a lot of feelings and emotions there, and I'm sure you'll be feeling all that come November too. So.
Yeah. And really, come what may, at least we've been able to work on getting our city ready to go.
I mean, win or lose, you guys have still had, everybody that's been involved up to this point has had huge participation, and because you guys are meeting a lot right now, like trying to get this stuff moving forward. So, you're already doing what you're saying you'll be doing next year, right? And it's cool to see everybody involved in working towards that common goal.
Yeah, I think so too. And that's what I've seen as we've come together and worked together and shared ideas and, just parsed out the work.
Yeah.
You know, I'll take this, you know, that's kind of the attitude.
No, that's awesome. And that's what we need right now, because it is a pivotal, monumental shift or change that's happening right now. And there's a lot at stake for sure. So it's cool meeting all of you guys and getting to know you more, because I think we're in very well capable hands. So.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thanks for letting me come and
Yeah.
chat with you.
No, thank you for your time today, and we appreciate you coming on the show with us.
Yes, you're welcome.
Thanks.